All right, it's time for our Roundup panel. The Texas Education Agency is asking lawmakers for hundreds of thousands of dollars to investigate teacher-student relationships. This is all according to a report by the Texas Tribune. The board is also hoping to put an end to these cases by passing laws, including requiring school districts to immediately revoke the teaching licenses of sex offenders, and superintendents could face charges if they fail to report relationships. So is all of this necessary? That's our topic this half hour, and we want to hear from you on Facebook and Twitter. Joining us live in the newsroom is Fox 26 senior analyst, legal analyst that is, Chris Tritico, Democratic media consultant Mustafa Tamiz, and Harris County Republican Party Chair Paul Simpson, who's in for Jackie Bally. But before we get to all that, I hear that there's a victory. It's Sam Houston, and we know Chris wants to talk a little bit about that.
That's right. We have to talk about the best university in Texas. Did win the Battle of the Piney Woods yesterday. Crushed the Lumberjacks yesterday in the 90th airing of the Battle of the Piney Woods. There's your in-depth sports report.
Awesome.
Nate Griffin.
Paul and Mustafa are probably like, all right.
All right, so now, let's move on. Let's get to the topic of the day. And as you know, I represent I'm the general counsel for the Houston Federation of Teachers and several other local teachers unions. The answer to the main question is no, they don't need extra funding for this. We already have laws in place that cover this, and the Texas Education Agency has rulemaking authority over these issues, and so they really don't need any extra laws put into place to do what they want to do. If they need extra funding, they should ask for it, but don't put it in the guise that we have an emergency here. There are issues that need to be dealt with, Mustafa Tamiz, but I know personally from the work I do that the commissioner has already said to superintendents, if you don't report this, we'll go after your license. So I think that they're going after a money grab over something that we already have laws in place for.
Yeah, but this is not. This is $400,000. The TEA and school districts have billions of dollars that we spend on this. They're asking for a little bit of additional money so they can have more caseworkers to work on this. And it seems reasonable after we've just seen a rash of these cases pop up around the state. So for TEA to have a little bit more resources so we can begin to manage this process. And some of the rule changes, I may not agree with each and every one of them, but we do need to do something.
Well, but to suggest that we don't have enough money to do our job and we need to add new laws here, Paul Simpson, now local control is local control. That's not really the way you go at it, is it?
Chris is exactly right, because the immediate bureaucratic response is give me more people, give me more money, and I'll solve the problem. 400,000 here, it just keeps growing and doesn't really solve the problem. There's, number one, there's probably plenty of money in the budgets that could cover this kind of need already with more efficiency. But more importantly, as you say, this is just overkill. It's unnecessary. There's enough administrative authority there. If the laws need to be tightened up and enhance the punishments, that's something I know Republican Representative Dale is already looking at. But it's just better enforcement and accountability, particularly at the local school district level.
The problem that TEA is having and that they can't fix is Devin Anderson, the Harris County District Attorney, and other district attorneys that I'm aware of have told local school districts, when you have these issues, you let us investigate and you back off. So TEA now is coming into the district and saying, you investigate this and report it to us immediately. Who's going to take control?
Well, some of these things are not possibly criminal activities, and I think the TEA and the school district want a little bit of resources to be able to look at some of these things before it meets that threshold of being a criminal activity. I mean, as we were talking about it earlier before the show, that there's so much interaction over social media now that we're trying to figure out, like, how do we determine that there might be something going on here? And look, I think that teachers do a very difficult job, and these individual cases taint a lot of people with a broad brush. And we all have to do a better job of weeding these things out so that teachers can get back to doing the job that's really important.
The problem I highlighted with Mustafa, I want you to talk about, because it's a real issue that's going on. You got Devin Anderson, and I'm not jumping on her, but Devin Anderson saying to the district, you back off and let us investigate it. And TEA saying, you better do your investigation, and then you send it to us immediately for us to do an investigation. So you've got two agencies competing with each other over who's going to do an investigation, and stuck in the middle is a teacher with constitutional rights.
Absolutely right, and I think the place for due process to be taken care of is by a district attorney, with attorneys and investigators who are schooled in that area. We've seen this problem nationwide in universities and so forth, where they trample on the due process rights of students when they get into investigations. So doing criminal investigations is not something properly within the purview of a bureaucracy. So the knee-jerk response of adding more bureaucrats, adding more money is not the solution. Let's leave criminal investigations up to the DA, and if the internal administrative procedures and sanctions need to be strengthened, that can be done as well.
But the problem that happens with that is then the school district moves ahead with a termination proceeding, and now you got a teacher fighting for their job while a criminal case is going on. I say you can't testify in the administrative proceeding. They lose their job. They lose their career over something that may be an allegation that's not provable anyway.
Well, the school administrations still need to be able to run their schools and protect the students and do the best thing for the classroom. So, I mean, there's always going to be some tension there, but I think, again, expanding bureaucracy is not the solution.
It's $400,000 and billions of dollars of budget.
Now,
you know,
this time now. It'll be more later.
Look, this is just adding 2 more people in TEA to look at this issue that people have been watching on their television across the state. And so we do have to do something about it. I think TEA is trying to get their arms around it. I don't agree with everything that they're talking about, but certainly this rises to the point that we should do something in this legislative cycle.
So, and I will say from personal experience that the investigations have gone from a few months to about 6 months up there. Do it because I work on these. So it may be that they may need some additional investigators.
Well, but again, I think you can do a lot more of that at the school level and enhance the penalties that are at stake here. I think part of the problem that's been complained about is some of this is not criminal sanctions, so people can get moved around. So you need to be able to have better accountability and better information about who these offenders are, so that they can't go get a job in another district as well.
And let's talk about the fact that TEA wants to start going after the superintendent. We got 30 seconds. Superintendents certifications on reporting issues.
Yeah, you know, look, at the end of the day, I think that going after supervisors, any type of this type of cases, always puts the pressure on the entire administration to be more vigilant, and some of that I think is appropriate. But I do want to say that teachers do one of the hardest jobs that anybody does, and we've got to do more to support our teachers. I don't want this to be just one more thing that will look at teachers with the tainted.
All right, we're going to leave it right there.
I agree with that.
We'll be back in about 20 minutes with another really good topic.
All right, thank you guys. I think Mustafa, kind of something everybody can agree with. Teachers do a fantastic job, and they do have a very hard job. So do you think more enforcement or more money? Be sure to let us know on Facebook and Twitter.